would come closest to Moscow? 3.8 million no-no Germans or 25,000 ex-convicts? The answer might surprise you. Another giant L for the Germans in the 1940s. Guess it does kind of help though when you're literally starting behind enemy lines though. Aliens watching season 2023 of Earth and the Russian Civil War was over before it even started. It was actually all just a filler episode. Don't you hate when that happens in TV shows? It's the year 2021 and Russia has the second best military in the world. It's the year 2022 and Russia has the second best military in Ukraine. It's the year 2023 and Russia has the second best military in Russia. They're evolving just backwards. Millennials watching the fall of the Russian government for the second time in their lifetime. Okay, I am a millennial, I am old, but I'm not that old. I did not see the fall of the Soviet Union. That just sounds like I'm ancient. I almost did though. Saying that sentence out loud kind of made me shiver a bit. Russia going through a civil war. First time, responds Iraq and Syria. Yeah, out here just thinking, don't worry, you'll get used to it. First year is always like this though. What is this from? What movie is this from? How is the meme like 3,000 times more popular than the movie? Putin, after realizing giving weapons to criminals may not have been the best decision he's ever made. I mean, in desperate times comes desperate measures. He didn't know what else to do, but I guess this might have backfired. The CIA, when someone beats them to starting a coup in Russia, and they've been trying this for like literally 80 years. It's such a huge head start. Literally the CIA right now.
Great shape. We've got a civil war in Russia. Government loyalists against ultranationalist rebels. And 15,000 nukes and stuff.
Just another day at the office.
That doesn't sound like good news exactly. Why is Russia copying the Call of Duty storyline? The Wagner Group advanced 800 miles today. This is excellent news, says Putin. However, oh yeah, there's a second part to that statement, and unfortunately that smile is probably about to go away. 800 miles into our own territory, they're seizing Moscow. Shut up! My dad works for the UN, and he can do absolutely nothing. That's actually his specialty. That's why he got hired there. I mean, to be fair, they are pretty good at saying, hey, don't do that sometimes. Me switching from submarine expert to war expert. That is literally what the entire world did, like in the middle of this week. Even if this was a filler episode, so much has happened. The Navy watching everyone search for a submarine their classified sonar system heard explode 4 days ago. Okay, to be fair, it might have been one of those things where they heard it, but they didn't know what it was. It wasn't until we had the evidence that it exploded that they're like, oh, that's probably what that noise was. Me realizing we're going through the entire 1910s decade in 1 week. We had the Titanic in 1912 and the Russian Revolution in 1917. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. That is actually one of the realest quotes. This whole decade, though, has been like centuries going by. Ever since 2020, it's just been nuts. My only worry here is if we're going through the 1910s decade again, when does the World War start? 15 tips to negotiate a great salary. Step 1. Threaten a coup by driving 1,500 kilometers to your boss's office with 1,000 soldiers and vehicles. That does tend to kind of send the message across. Either strike a deal or your boss is about to turn into 1,000 different pieces. Okay, so all I have to do is find 1,000 troops and a bunch of military vehicles. Got it. Me, when the history teacher spoils Oppenheimer by telling the class how the war in the Pacific ends. Are you serious? I just bought my tickets for next week. I was intentionally trying to avoid anything related to World War II for this reason. No, but I keep reading about how this film is literally a horror movie. It's one thing reading about Hiroshima and then a completely different thing seeing it. You know that scene in Terminator 2 when like Sarah Connor's like being blown up by the nuke? It's just gonna be that for like 3 hours, I think. A single Dorito has more extreme nacho flavor than a person in the 13th century would experience in their whole lifetime. Basically meaning you can probably conquer entire civilizations with this one tasty chip. You could probably cause the entire world to go to war over an entire bag. We need to stop CO2 emissions as fast as possible. Nuclear energy is a great way in doing so, says France in response. France barred from Friends of Renewables EU ministerial meeting. They literally put them on block. How does that work exactly? They literally just said, ghosted. We have the original Titanic, the submarine to the Titanic. Next up, Titanic 2, which is a replica of the original ship, and it's going to sail the same route. Weird to me that like nobody who was making this didn't think it'd be a horrible idea, or is this just a meme? Please tell me there isn't an actual Titanic 2. Oh, nope. I guess I underestimated humanity. This is a planned project. They really are going to call this the Titanic 2. Although it has been delayed like indefinitely. Maybe that's probably for the best. Spanish words translated into French words.
Fruta madura. Mur.
Mur.
Murmurar. Murmur.
It's all Muir.
Una zarzamora madura murmura a la pared. Mur, 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 mur.
It's actually a French cat this whole time. I knew French cats were built differently. You can actually speak the language. How to frighten the new generation. Put them in a submarine 13,000 feet underwater. Put them in a submarine where the door has been bolted shut. There are no seats. There are no onboard navigation system. There's 5 people in the cabin, smaller than a minivan. Oh, and there's only 96 hours of air left. The CEO is there. Oh, and you're controlling it with a gaming controller. I love this meme because the original was actually about the game Iron Lung. It's a little bit freaky how little they had to actually change from the original meme, which I think was made like 6 months ago. The changes obviously made Iron Lung even scarier than it already was. So apparently AI art is encountering a problem. There is so much AI art out there that other programs are now starting to pull from it. AI really said, and then we have this picture of a Habsburg, infamous for keeping their bloodline pure and only marrying their family members. Basically, AI art created through references, AI art is yielding worse and worse results. It really is like it's going down the Habsburg family tree. Their chin is getting bigger and bigger. With each new generation, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. I definitely didn't have AI inbreeding on my 2023 bingo card. The FBI trying to stop me from finding old York City. Every time you do go across this path, some sort of mysterious thing happens to you. You all of a sudden find yourself in like a car crash or something. Everyone thinks that New York was based off of the city of York in the United Kingdom, but no, it was actually based off of old York. I know it's somewhere out there. I'm gonna find it. Or maybe it's best that I don't. Medieval battles in Hollywood be like versus real medieval battles. It's actually just waiting for the enemy castle to just give up. They always have these crazy sieges where there's like towers and ladders and people climbing up walls. In reality, you're kind of just sitting around waiting for them to run out of food inside the castle. Why risk anything else? Victorian women be like, this literally looks like a Victorian woman. Wait a second, are you saying modern day octopuses have changed themselves evolutionarily to mimic the style of a Victorian woman? It all makes sense now. These dresses are pretty cool. I can see why an entire species would do that. Now I kind of wish I could reborn as an octopus or something. Dude, stop thinking and desiring stuff and you will be happy, LMAO. That is definitely one way to portray Buddhism. That has never crossed my mind before. Yo guys, who up? Who up right now missing Pangea? Please don't bring it up. I literally cry myself to sleep at night thinking about how nice it would be if I could walk from Manhattan to Morocco, or even better, California as we know it doesn't exist. I guess I'd be moving to Florida then or something. Me, personally, I dislike the Chinese gov my REDM Note 11 Pro cell phone. I knew there was a self-destruct button on those things. I feel like all cell phones should have this ability. Ooh, the Wikipedia page for Kevin Lasagna, an Italian soccer player. Style of play, Lasagna has many layers to his game. I honestly should have known. Alright, whoever wrote this line, give him a rap deal immediately. He's gonna drop the hottest new album. You can always put more clothes on, MFers, when it's negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Love that you used negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit because that is also the same in Celsius. It's negative 40. Interesting time to be talking about this during summer. Live footage of my city during summertime. Weird how many places on Earth have literally just been transported to Mordor, kind of. There's just hellfire and volcanoes, maybe a weird tower with an eye. The Russian government, when the criminal mercenary group does criminal things, the government is in danger. Again, it just seems like something you probably would have at least been prepared for. At least expected. Maybe make sure they can't just march to Moscow. The Wagner group fighting with Russian forces. Meanwhile, Ukraine watching it all in the background. This must be a fun time. Again, even though it was a filler episode and it's already over, at least Ukraine got the entertainment. Elon Musk watching Mark Zuckerberg transform into a 4-meter lizard monster during the cage fight. Apparently, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg might go like into a UFC style fight at some point. Yeah, my money's on Mark. Elon Musk asking for a cage fight with Zuckerberg. Meanwhile, Zuckerberg replying, "Send me your location." I actually didn't know this until recently. Zuckerberg does a lot of jujitsu apparently. I don't think he's messing around here. I think he's totally down to fight Elon. Helps also that he's actually a giant lizard. Reflecting on being scolded for poor cursive writing only to type on a computer for a living. And you know what's funny? The older generations continue to complain about this, like why aren't the kids learning cursive? I was probably like one of the last kids that was forced to learn cursive. We did it for like 3 months. You know what would have been so much better? If you taught me how to do taxes. I don't even use cursive to sign my name. I just put like a bunch of squiggles. What a waste. Medieval doctors, when they drill a hole into someone's skull and end up oofing them rather than relieving them of their headache. Again, one of those moments where years of the academy wasted. I thought my mentor said it was totally gonna help the guy. Note to self, don't drill into the brain. Ooh, a video representation of the fall of the Ottoman Empire. We have the Russians kicking the Ottomans, the Romanians kicking the Ottomans, the French and the British, the Montenegro, Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, I don't know that flag, that was an old one, Italy, oh, that's Armenia. Okay. Hey, but Turkey's still around. Catholic priests in the Middle Ages, after telling everyone they can pay to get into heaven. They literally just said it's pay to win. I guess that's been a strategy for a long time now or something. Video games are just following behind. Italian cops look like futuristic, I can't even finish that, but, they do look rather interesting. That's for sure. Is this just one? I don't think this has just got to be from one city, right? There's no way they all look like this. I didn't see anyone that look like this. They do look scary, that's for sure. Never make fun of someone who speaks broken English. It means they know another language. And unfortunately, a lot of English speakers can fall into this trap. Now I just feel like a weaker human being when someone can speak a second language really well. Like I'm just a failure or something. And big thanks to the patrons. I am the kidnapper. I oofed Drew since no one paid his ransom. This channel's now run by AI. Australia-Hungary. I'm Argentinian. $20 is a lot. Asher, $200, Chester, Tiny, Reagan's A Nargin, Inquisitor, Isaiah, John Denver, KirinoIsBestGirl, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Twickenhamster,